Hello, world. Welcome to WFHR's Rapids Report for this Thursday, November 13th, 2025. Have your host, James, here. A big shout out to Crockett Septic sponsoring this time for us so we can talk to some of our favorite community people like we have in today. We're talking about the Wisconsin Rapids Area Performing Arts Center. We got a couple of individuals here from there. I'll let you guys introduce yourselves so we can put a voice to the name. We'll start with you, Eric.
Hi, I'm Eric Brittnacher, Director of the Performing Arts Center. Thanks a lot.
Good to see you, Eric. It's been a while. Good to see you, man.
Thank you.
I'm Sarah Danke, and I'm the theater teacher at Lincoln and also the PAC coordinator.
Sarah, it is great to meet you. Thanks so much for being here. And with both of you, appreciate everything you guys do, putting into our community. Greatly appreciated. I make no bones about this. I am an actor first and foremost. So, Sarah, I love what you do and appreciate it so very much. We know the confidence in the different things, the skill sets that kids can build through theater and so many of these experiences. And certainly, Eric, with the kids that you work with and everything and what you're able to help these kids embrace and learn and maybe even start careers with, who knows. And been able to do this for a while, and to the point where we're actually going to get to celebrate an anniversary, and that's why you guys are here today to what to talk about. Let's dive right into this, the Performing Arts Center's 25th anniversary. How are you guys celebrating?
Well, I'll tell you, we're celebrating by having an open house both on Friday and Saturday night. Those start at 4 o'clock on both nights. On Friday night, we're having featuring the Lincoln High School Theater Department and their fall show. And then there was a spoof, and that's a show that they're taking to the Wisconsin High School State Theater Festival very, very soon. But we're going to be featuring that on Friday night. That'll be at 5:30. But then on Saturday, again, we have that open house at 5 o'clock. There's going to be a short presentation in the PAC. There's going to be some alumni that will be speaking who are actively involved in the theater world or the production world, if you will. There's going to be some people that were around at the inception of the PAC who are going to be doing some speaking. Miss Priscilla Kite will be playing the piano. She's been a long time an accompanist for the Wisconsin Rapids Public School System, and playing piano for choir and a variety of different performances along the way. They're going to be talking about how we acquired Madame Steinway, which is the piano that was donated by J. Lee Mead. The Mead family, Gilbert and J. Lee Mead, I'm sorry. And then we are going to be hearing from Mr. Mosconis and Mr. Kaiser themselves, who were, instrumental in bringing and developing the PAC and all of the ideas that were put into the facility. They recorded a Zoom call. Unfortunately, they're not able to join us. And then at 5:30, we're hosting a dinner in the Lincoln High School cafeteria. The food is catered by the Wisconsin Rapids Public Schools Food Service. We have a fine menu of a variety of different dishes. There's also gluten-free and vegetarian options, if you will. And then starting at 7 o'clock, we'll have kind of a variety show featuring a couple of the local dance studios. Rapids School of Performing Arts is joining us. Studio 48 is joining us. We will also have former student Max Bennett's performing. He's going to be closing the night, but then we're also featuring the 40-minute one-act for the Lincoln High School Theater Department, and then there was a spoof. So there's a lot going on. So just to recap again, Friday and Saturday, both nights, there's an open house at 4 o'clock until about 5.
Open to the public.
Open to the public until about 4 or 5:30. There's all sorts of memorabilia and history, news article clippings and things, pictures, past shows. So stop in anytime after 4 o'clock on Friday or Saturday.
It's great to hear of some of these voices from the past and some other teachers and stuff coming down. You said Mr. Mosconis, and I was immediately back to being in his class and appreciating him, because he really, I don't know if I'm in this chair without people like him and teachers like him that really pushed me and really put up with me. To be blunt, and everything. So I that's really cool to hear. It's a wonderful event to just not only as far as how it's spread out and the different things, a different variety of things going on for people. Sometimes if you have an event like this and it's one day at one particular time, you'll get a good turnout, but you don't get as many people as you could because of the variety there. Having this going on for a weekend, maybe people are able to take in the whole, time, or maybe some can show up for this day and some others this day. It really gives a lot more flexibility to the community to be able to appreciate this. And that makes sense because I was doing my homework for this and going through, and the PAC obviously been around 25 years. I have to be honest about something with everybody. It took me a while to become friends with the Performing Arts Center. I was very jealous for a very long time. This opened right after I
I
graduated.
was wondering about that.
Right after I graduated. Sarah, imagine how much a little kid like
Yep.
me wanted to perform on that kind of
Yep.
stage.
Yep.
I didn't get a chance to. I was jealous. I completely admit it. Just nothing but jealousy on my part. I'm kidding. But I was doing my homework and going through, and it's not just the amount of kids and plays that have gone on there, but you and I get together and talk with Sally and our friends at Savor the Arts and the performances there and those acts. I almost had the question, and then I thought, I'm not going to do this to you guys, of how many different acts have performed on that stage. You think about the
Loaded
tons.
question.
You know, Ted did a really, really great job of keeping that kind of history and the numbers and how many people attended, but that got a little bit too much to kind of keep up with after the years. You know, we
We're
still
a lot
have
busier nowadays.
we still have
We're-
records of
Yeah.
you know the artists that came through, and the Arts Council is one of the ones where you know that lineup is always changing. But we have the groups that come in year after year, and a lot of them sit in these chairs and interview with you, Miss Wisconsin Rapids Area Pageant, who's been a long-time user. You know, the two local dance studios. We even get some dance studios from Plover every once in a while if they fit into the schedule. But you know, we get Eau Claire Children's Theater that comes from Eau Claire to present to our local students and that sort of thing. So there's a lot of these annual events that they reach a lot of different people in a lot of different areas. And just because you're not into what the Arts Council presents doesn't mean you haven't been there for dance or
Charlie
something else.
Barron's.
Yeah, Charlie Barron's and Hager Promotions. I mean, all kinds of people have, used the facility and enjoyed it and have come to see shows of all different varieties. We've had authors and speakers and different presenters and,
Yeah.
you name it.
As a proud Lincoln grad, I Lincoln getting use of this facility is great on its own and all that. I don't want to take anything from that, of course. But I just love when we have something that's so beautiful, so good, the acoustics in there, all the things, and we're able to use it for so many other things, especially over the last 25 years. It's a big number when you lose track. When you forget, how many was it again? That's a big number of entertainers and different people that have come across that stage. And the economic impact that has made on our community is gigantic.
Yes.
You would know it if it wasn't there. There are so many things that building, that little area there has been able to bring to our community, along with all the joy, entertainment, and so much of that you can't put a price on. Sarah, I wanted to ask you a little bit about the performances themselves, the kids and the shows. I was in the production, in a production of And Then There Were None, long time ago. Captain Lombard is one of my favorite plays, favorite performances I've been in and everything. I saw this spoof and I'm like, oh, I got to look into that. That sounds awesome. How long have you guys been rehearsing? How long have you been working on this?
Probably mid-September is when we had auditions, and then we've been working here and there since then. And because we're in the One Act Festival, we had district in mid-October. We held that here at the PAC, and then we just had sectionals at DeForest High School and advanced from that, and then we have state already. We're performing at state at UWSP next Friday, so it's a little longer than a normal show, but the kids are loving it and they're doing such a good job with it.
Wonderful to hear about the competition and everything. Wishing them well. Break a leg. Great run to them. When it comes to being able to perform a show, it's always going to feel good, and it's always it hits the soul being able to perform for your community.
Yes.
But to be a part of an event like this, I imagine this is really hitting home for them.
I don't think it's hit them yet.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
think they quite understand the big part of it.
Sure.
That they're like, yeah, okay, this is happening, until I think they start to see, because they haven't seen the lobby yet. We've been starting to put together the lobby. And for those that have graduated from Lincoln High School and has gone through the theater program, that this was a tradition that Ted did and that I continue, is that we make a bulletin board a bulletin board poster with all of the different names and the faces, and we have it from when it opened 2000 all the way up to today. So it's literal walk down memory lane.
Wow.
For everybody. I mean, you can come and take a picture of yourself on the next to your bulletin of your show. So we still keep up that tradition.
That's so cool to hear. And if you're an alum, this is a must event.
Yes.
This is a must to be down there to check this out and everything. I was just talking with Pam, and she was at the over at Lincoln the other day and was telling me about some things over there. And I'm like, wait a minute, at Lincoln? Like you forget how long it's been since you've been to your old high school or something like that. I think that there's just a fun, go down Nostalgia Street a little bit and have some fun with that. Who doesn't love some nostalgia? But also just being a part of the event, I think, means something. Showing up, being a part of these things. Not only are you going to be entertained, you're going to have some great food and all of that, but you are also showing I'm a part of this community. I'm a part of this. This means something to me.
Yes, absolutely.
And to the point of the kids' perspective of this, and you mentioning that, and boy, to be young, and when things are like that, and they're just all this big stuff's going on around you, and you don't necessarily see how big it is and everything. These kids, not only when it comes to every single high school performance, and I maintain this, the greatest theater you'll ever see is high school productions.
Yes.
Easily. And there's never been a bad one in human history. There's never been a bad high school production. Every one of them are entertaining and fun. And we always encourage people to attend them, helping these kids. They're going to build some confidence from this, the things that they learn, and the skill set that they get from theater. There's very few things that really do that, like theater does.
Right.
But then when they do this particular show, and they're looking at that audience, and they're bowing at the end and everything, and they see a full crowd, they see different members from their community out there. What do you think they're going to grow up to be like? What do you think they will do? Because they will learn from this. Those brains are still sponges, and they see people putting into their community. They get to be our age. They start to do the same type of thing. We're not just teaching kids how to learn to memorize lines and learn their blocking. We're teaching them how to be good community members, good citizens, and all that.
No, that's a fair point. And they learn confidence. They learn so many life skills of collaborating with others. How do you get along with people that you're not maybe particularly like at the time? And we, like what Eric and I we always strive for is how do we make them employable? And like theater is a foundation for creative problem solving. And we keep up with that. I mean, the shows, like especially comedies are hard. They are hard to put on, and some people don't know that if you're not into theater. They're harder than a drama, and the reason why is because there's so many different levels of comedy, of humor. There's some that like lower comedy, like the potty humor, and then there's some that like the higher comedy, which you have to like understand history in order to get the joke. And so there's so many different levels, and then the energy. The energy. The energy, we're constantly telling them, keep the energy up. If you're having fun, they're having fun. Let's keep it going. And I think what probably the biggest thing that I love about it is that they really come together as a team. And Ted Does did this, and I've done this too, is that, cast and crew and tech, we are a team. It's not separate entities. And even when we do musicals, the pit's included too. We are all a team to make sure that audience is entertained. What do we want to make them feel? And when they're done with their show, yes, it's tiring, but then they get so proud of what they do. And I think that's really important, especially at the high school age, that they're putting in all this hard work. They actually see it. It's like, this is why we do it. This was worth it. Yeah. This is why we do it.
I talk about this with cooking oftentimes, that it can be a lot and take this amount of time, and it'd be a little frustrating even. But as soon as you see somebody eating the food that you just cooked, there's no feeling like that. There's no feeling like it. It's a very similar process. Yep. And again, there's no downside to this. There's no, when it comes to kids not only being in theater and being a part of the arts, but you attending this event. There's no downside. Nothing but fun. Eric, before we wrap things up, go over the details of the event one more time. I did want to note that the different voices from the past, the different people coming by and everything, that is pretty cool. Was that something that you reached out to them? That was there a kind of mutual kind of connection on that one of like, hey, I'd love to be a part of this or something?
Are you saying with regard to like people wanting to use the facility?
The guest speakers that you have coming for the open house.
Oh, so the guest speakers, yeah, a lot of that was due to Sarah and reaching out, and also just reaching out to Ted and Bob and saying, hey, who was part of this kind of, at the inception, and who would be really great to reach out to, because the truth is that Sarah and I don't have some of those connections with people. We kind of came a little bit later in the game. And so, we kind of relied on them. and just put the word out there, hey, we're having this event. If you could make it, that's great. We tried to really keep the event light. And I mean, yeah, there's quite a bit of planning involved, and a lot of it, hats off to Sarah for, doing a lot of the background work. But, we just tried to keep it light, keep it simple, invite the community, in a way that we thought was important, to include them with the show, to include the community members who might have an interest, or the community users who might have an interest in both performing. We've got some exhibit spots in the lobby that will feature some of those regular users. And so, we really just tried to keep it light, keep it simple.
Yeah.
We weren't going to be able to reach every single person. Not every person was going to be able to make it, and that's not what it was about. It was about, we have to pick a date, we have to combine it with a special event, and that's what we did. And so we're almost there.
We know a little bit about trying to pull off events on your own and these kind of things. It's not easy. I admire it, and very nice work by you guys. Part of the reason I ask about the guests is what you were saying there about maybe not having those connections, but also just that's not something that I think everybody would think of. I think that's a really nice addition to this open house, along with the history and the telling of it and everything. Not only, again, going back to the students and them learning some stuff and all the great work and creativity that came behind this, but just for people to be able to walk down memory lane a little bit and understand some of that life doesn't pause. There's no pause button. We're just moving, and we don't often have a time to kind of look back and appreciate things or appreciate how far we've come or anything like that. Those first shows, and heck, even going before that, just getting this idea funded, getting this idea off the ground and everything. A big tip of the hat to even that accomplishment. Let alone everything that. You mentioned those crazy things that can come up in theater, or when you're putting on a performance, you plan, and then life happens. Every situation like that theater that stage has seen and everything. It's a credit to everybody involved from the beginning to now. It's very cool. Eric, one more time. Do you mind if we go through the rundown of the event again?
Yep, we'll keep it nice and clean. On Friday night, there's an open house starting at 4 o'clock. And also on Friday night at 5:30, we'll be featuring Lincoln High School Theater Department, and then there was a spoof. To attend that's $5. So Friday night, starting at 4 o'clock, open house, 5:30 is the show. On Saturday, again, 4 o'clock is the open house. At 5 o'clock, we're going to be doing a short presentation in the PAC.
Free to the public.
Free to the public. There will be a dinner at 5:30. If you buy the dinner ticket, the dinner and the show is all combined, and that's $25.
For the 25th.
For the 25th. So 5:30 will be the dinner. 7 o'clock we'll start the kind of variety show featuring Rapids School of Performing Arts, Studio 48 Dance Company, the Wisconsin Rapids Lincoln High School Theater Department, and then there was a spoof. And then we're closing out the night with alumni Max Bennett, singer-songwriter, and perhaps some of you have seen him.
Yeah, graduate of 2017.
He played Bert in Mary Poppins.
Yep.
Oh, right. I knew the name seemed familiar.
Yep.
Okay, right on.
He got to fly, and he was so excited.
Yeah, that's a lucky kid right there. That's awesome, and it's cool that he'll be back for this. And if people want tickets for those shows, is there somewhere we can send them for those?
Yeah, there's a website. It's called On the Stage. So if you go to onthestage.com, you can search for Lincoln High School. Probably the easiest way is just to do a Google search for On the Stage, Lincoln High School Theater Department, and then you will be able to go to our landing page where you could just
tell
buy.
You what it is. It is r.show. Slant. I don't know what those are. And then it is 25 years PAC.
If you go to Facebook, you guys have a great Facebook page for the event. You go there are links there for you as well.
Yes.
So whatever is the simplest way for you to do it, find it, get those tickets, and be a part of this event. If you can, the whole weekend of events and everything. But if not, being able to be a part of it is just good enough and certainly great and very appreciated.
And one more thing, if you don't want to attend the dinner on Saturday night, you can just attend the event, the show, for $5. So you don't have to, do the dinner and the show. But if you do buy the dinner, it comes with the show ticket.
Which we encourage you, because that's where you get to tell stories about the PAC.
Oh, yeah.
What you all did.
That's a must. You definitely want to do that. And definitely want to support these things going on over at the Performing Arts Center whenever you see them. When there are events happening and stuff, get your tickets, show up, be a part of it, and help support the arts in our community. Both of you, thank you so much for the time. Have fun, tell the kids to break a leg, and have a good run.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, guys. And thank you, everybody, for joining us for another edition of WFHR's Rapids Report.